One aspect of gay loneliness I often think about from the college days involves how we as gay men often romanticize gay loneliness in order to cope with it, which isn't always like the best practice from my own experience, all things considered. But back during the college days, having grown up and come out in rural Michigan and then moving to a city, a college town, I, of course, was navigating a new space. I was navigating a new identity and ultimately trying to find my way among gay men, wanting to make connections, wanting to be seen, and ultimately to be found attractive. And I quickly learned that all of us harbored gay loneliness in varying degrees. However, many of us chose not to express it because we quickly learned that expressing that loneliness people found it unattractive, and that would make people look the other way. There was an inherent insecurity in expressing that gay loneliness that I think made other gay men uncomfortable because it served as a cruel reminder to them that they also harbored that same loneliness. And my first couple of years of college, I struggled with this because I was very transparent about the isolation and loneliness. That combined with the fact that I really didn't fit traditional gay aesthetics made me very much unmarketable in the dating pool, let's just say. So my coming out experience and acclimating to the gay community, I still felt very much on the outside. And that lasted all the way through my 20s, even up until my late 20s, early 30s. But I quickly realized that as a gay man in college, navigating dating, I had to learn to romanticize gay loneliness through painting it as though that I was strong and independent and that I was choosing loneliness because that made me look more confident and more attractive and palatable to other gay men. And, like, for example, like, many of us would go to parties to find solace, to find connection, even though I would often still feel incredibly isolated at them. But by being the life of the party, like, that was our way of romanticizing that gay loneliness enough to make it seem like we are independent and unattainable. And ultimately that stoked the chase that we often saw our, straight, peers experiencing, the chase that we've always wanted and craved. And that made it such a complex thing to navigate through. Eventually, I realized that, that doesn't necessarily need to be my experience, but, when you are navigating a group of people who are suffering from the same trauma, the same isolation and loneliness that you've suffered through, like, we kind of serve as mirrors for one another, and that can make people very uncomfortable. And I think that's why I really struggled with gay loneliness, why I had to learn to put on this facade, to romanticize it through this lens of I am strong and independent, and that makes me attractive. And going back to the self-sabotage video that I did a few videos ago talking about how I would self-sabotage relationships, this romanticizing of gay loneliness is what led to the self-sabotage, because I found it difficult to make connections with other gay men because I had grown so used to painting myself in, like, this strong, independent image that, like, I don't think I or other gay men really allowed ourselves to feel to our full extent, because we kind of in the back of our minds had, like, this fear that we would lose whatever connection we would get. And I think that's coming from, those years of isolation where we fought so hard for some flicker of connection, and we would lose those connections, and that kind of just re-stoked the same feeling over and over again, to the extent where, like, the threat of even experiencing closeness almost felt like it was doomed to failure, right? But, I mean, thankfully, I've worked through that. I'm in my, mid-30s now. I'm engaged to somebody, And it took years of therapy, years of learning about myself, unlearning that conditioning. But I think that that's something that a lot of gay men and people and the rest of the LGBTQ plus community experience. So anyway, share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you as always for tuning in for these important conversations about gay loneliness. I think that there is so much to unpack regarding it, and it's worth talking about. So if you like my videos, please click like for the algorithm. I would really appreciate it. Share my videos if you are able to. And of course, subscribe to my channel because I'm very passionate about these deep conversations. And ultimately, all I want is for all of us to heal together because, well, life is too short not to, right? Anyway, talk to you all soon. Bye.